In the first class, we have understood what is Angular and what are the benefits of Angular we have understood. And today we are going to start the TypeScript introduction part. Some basics about the TypeScript we are trying to learn. So first, why we have to learn this TypeScript? Answer is, in Angular we are going to use the language called TypeScript language. In Angular we use which language? TypeScript language. Without knowing the TypeScript language, it is not possible to learn Angular 2 plus. In Angular, all the two versions, like Angular 2, 4, 5, and all the versions, TypeScript language we have to use. And this TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. Superset of JavaScript. So TypeScript is a superset of which one? JavaScript. What's the meaning of superset? All the concepts of JavaScript plus additionally some extra concepts are available. So if you can take, what are the JavaScript concepts? JavaScript concepts are, first we have variables. Okay, JavaScript concepts are like variables, operators, control statements, arrays, functions, objects, and DOM manipulations. These are the main topics of the JavaScript. Just outline I'm going to provide. So all these topics are inclusive in the TypeScript, but additionally some extra concepts have been added. What are the extra concepts? Static typing, data types under static typing, also classes, interfaces, modules, and other miscellaneous concepts. So all the JavaScript topics including variables, operators, control statements, arrays, functions, objects, DOM manipulations. In addition to that, data types and static typing, classes, interfaces, modules, and other miscellaneous concepts. So this total outer circle is nothing but your TypeScript language. Your TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript in this way. So let's understand this data types, static typing, all these TypeScript related features. First, data types. In TypeScript, we have some data types introduced. All the numbers are represented as number data type. All the collection of characters are represented as string data type. All the numbers are number data type. Here there is no classification of int, float, double, this type of data types. Any number may be small number or large number, positive or negative, decimal, non-decimal, everything is number data type only. And string data type always means collection of characters which is in double quotes or single quotes. Double quotes, single quotes are equal here, has no change. And Boolean data type which indicates a true or false. And also we have something called as object data type which indicates either object literal or new. This object literal and new already exist in JavaScript also, right? Same data type has been carried forwarded. And also we have any data type. Any means any type of value. We can store anything, like we can store number, string, boolean, object, anything we can store in this any data type. These are the 5 important data types. These data types are introduced from the TypeScript. And which is really new point here is the static typing. What is the meaning of static typing? Don't think like static means fixed, so we have to give some fixed values, anything, something like that. Fixed value is called as constant. That is different. Here static typing means fixed data type, not fixed value. Static typing doesn't mean that fixed value. It is means a fixed data type. Static typing setting a specific data type to a variable while declaration itself or at the time of declaration itself is called as a static typing. While declaration of the variable itself, you have to fix a particular data type. For example, you have to declare the variable like var keyword, var variable name colon data type. We have to provide the data type. How we were creating the variables in JavaScript, any guess? Var space variable name. That's it. So this is the valid statement in JavaScript. But in TypeScript, TS means a TypeScript here. So TS in that TypeScript we have to provide the data type colon data type. This part is extra. In JavaScript it is not possible to give the data type even though we want. But in TypeScript there is a possibility of giving the data type. And of course this data type is optional. In TypeScript also without the data type also we can create the variable, but with also possible. But in JavaScript it is not at all possible to give the data type while declaring the variable. So that is the difference. So in this way we can call the JavaScript as a dynamically typed variable. TypeScript language can be called as dynamically typed. Sorry, JavaScript. That JavaScript is called as dynamically typed. TypeScript is called as statically typed. So here dynamically typed means based on the value that you have assigned, it will take the corresponding data type. Suppose if you assign a number here, the variable will be number only. If you assign a string value, the variable will be string only. So based on the value that you have assigned, it will take the corresponding data type. But in this case of static type, we have to fix a particular data type for this variable. We can assign only the values of the same data type what you have mentioned here. We cannot assign any other values. That is the meaning of what? Static typing. Clear. So dynamic typing means we can give anything. But static typing means what? We can give a fixed data type for the variable. Next, we are trying to have another feature that is called classes. What is this classes? Class is a collection of properties and methods that you want to store in the object. So the relation between the class and object is that first in the class we have to specify the properties and methods that you want to store. In the object only actual properties and methods gets stored. So what properties you want to store in the object, what methods you want to store in the object, that we can specify in the class. I will give an example, no problem. Just listen, suppose you want to store the student details. So there are two students, student 1, student 2. Both students are called objects. Student 1 is one object. Student object 1 I can say in simple. Student object 1, student object 2. Really how many students exist? 2 students exist. And every student has its own details, right? I'm asking the first student, hey student, tell your details. Like he's answering my roll number 1234. My name, my student name is ABCD, and my marks are 70. These are the details of the first student. And now I'm asking the details about the second student. He is answering my roll number 456, my student name XYZ, my marks are 90. So, but you can notice in every student object, three properties are being repeated: roll number, student name, and marks. The common list of properties are called class. First we have to create a class, suitable name student, and we have to create the properties. What properties you want to store in the object, that we have to tell in the beginning itself. So roll number is the property. What type of value you want to store in it? Number data type. Student name, what data type? String data type. Marks, what data type? Number data type. Like this we have to create the appropriate number of methods. Also, the class may contain properties and methods. Properties are used to store the data, just data. Methods won't store any data, but methods do some process, some calculation, some processing you want to do. For example, you want to calculate total marks. So calculation of total marks is requiring some process. Otherwise, you want to find out some result of the student. The result of the student is pass or fail, you want to identify. Some process is involved, right? The process we can do in the methods. But this result method is available for every student. Based on the first student, based on second student also, the result will be stored separately. So in this way, the class is overall acting as a blueprint or model of all the objects. What properties, methods you want to store about the objects, you are telling in the beginning itself in the class. In that way, the class is acting as what? Model of the objects. Based on the class, we can create any number of objects. Object is also called as instance. The instance or object can store the data about the particular student or particular related product or a particular person. Class will not store anything. Class will just tell the properties and methods list only. Class will not store any data really. Class is not having any memory allocation. Only object will have memory allocation. These are the details about the class and object that you can provide. These classes are not supported by the JavaScript. If you come back to the JavaScript again, here I told one topic like objects. Yes, JavaScript supports objects for sure, but JavaScript doesn't support the classes. JavaScript doesn't support which one of classes, but TypeScript supports classes. JavaScript supports objects, TypeScript supports classes and objects also. Just like suppose in Java. In Java, you are able to create the class. Based on the class, you are able to create object, right? Exactly in the same way, in TypeScript we can do. In TypeScript, first we can create a class. Based on the class, we are able to create object. Understand? So what is the main difference I'm saying? In JavaScript, we directly create object. We can't create object based on the class. In which one? JavaScript. But in TypeScript, what I can say, we can create class first, we can create class, and we can create object or objects based on the class. First we will create a class. Based on the class, we are able to create one or more objects. So this process is possible in the TypeScript. And the look and feel of the class will be mostly same as other languages. If you take C++ language or Java language, any other popular object-oriented programming languages, you can see the class name, okay, properties you can see. These properties only somewhere we call it as variables in other languages. For example, in Java language, we call them as variables. But in TypeScript, don't call them as variables, to call them as properties. See, where variable name means it's a variable. Okay, property colon data type, this is a class. So this is the property. Understand? With where keyword means it's a variable. It's not a part of the class. Property colon data type means it's a property and it's a part of the class. Variable is not a part of the class. So that is the difference I'm saying. And methods also you can create. Method name you can provide. Some code you can provide. Some implementation. Like this, in a class, we can create any number of properties and any number of methods. Overall, you can create any number of classes in the big program. A program is a collection of a number of classes, and each class contains its own properties and methods. Okay. So we have understood the overview of the classes. Anyway, in the programs, in the practical, I will show about all these things once again, no problem. How to create the properties, methods, examples I will provide. Don't worry. So just features I'm going to give overview. Okay. So we have discussed about the data types of the TypeScript. Static typing means what? Giving a fixed data type is called as what? Static typing. Static typing is not possible in case of JavaScript, but possible in case of TypeScript. Next, interfaces. Okay, this interfaces modules I will explain just later. Maybe just in the further lessons anyway, we will see all these things. Mainly we have discussed about up to classes. Okay. So this data types not possible in JavaScript, that's why added in TypeScript. This class is not possible in JavaScript, that's why added in TypeScript. Static typing not possible in JavaScript, that's why added in TypeScript. Even these interfaces modules also not possible in JavaScript, but added in TypeScript. Like this, whichever the features missing and expected in JavaScript, those features are fulfilled, replaced with the TypeScript language. At the same time, TypeScript is not against to the JavaScript. What are the concepts, what are the code we use in JavaScript? Same code exactly we can copy paste in the TypeScript file. Only we have the additional facility of using some additional concepts like I told. I'm saying it's a superset. Okay, it's not a replacement of that. So this is the feature overview. And what are the advantages of the TypeScript instead of using JavaScript? What are the advantages of using TypeScript? So since we have a static typing, what I can say, there is a consistent programming language. Consistent programming language. What is the meaning of consistent? See what I can say with the static typing, what happened? If somebody assign a wrong value, uh, the JavaScript will accept it, right? I'll give one example. Suppose what you can say in JavaScript somebody has given like var x equal to 100, and we are assuming x is a number. We are writing suppose x plus plus. X plus plus means what? Just x will be incremented. Just I'm expecting x should become 101. Okay. But if some bad person has assigned x equal to hello in the middle. Somebody has added this statement in the middle. So this statement will not work. See, as of now, this program seems correct. But by adding this statement, and since the string value also accepted, because we are not mentioning anywhere string or number, so this value is legal, it's accepted. So this statement will not work. Even though syntax wise it is correct, it will not work because string cannot be applied with a plus plus. So like this, some inconsistency is there in JavaScript. But in TypeScript, how do we solve the same problem? We fix a data type like a number. That's it. Once you fix like a number, it's like a static typing, it's fixed. So somebody accidentally or expectedly assigning some string value inside it, it is not possible. This will throw an error. Compile time and runtime error also will be shown. That's why this statement is not possible at all. So X++ guarantee comfortably you can write. There is no possibility of skipping it. So that's why the static typing will give more consistent programming. Type safety we can say, or consistent program we can say, which is exist in Java language, C language and everywhere. That is possible by the TypeScript only. And the second one, it supports classes. So like Java or C#.NET kind of experience. So if the programmer is coming with a Java background or C#.NET background, for such type of programmers, this will be easy understandable. Class name instead of direct object. And also we have interfaces and modules. So with this we can do more. Interfaces and modules also useful. I will explain about these details later. So don't worry about it. And also it will give you better intelligence and or auto completion you can say. What is the meaning of IntelliSense or auto completion? While writing the code, suppose in somewhere in editor, okay, we are just started typing like A, and we are expecting automatically it has to display all the A matching names, right? All the A matching names it has to show. We are expecting this kind of thing in the editor. Okay, that is called IntelliSense, okay, or auto completion. So this is more better IntelliSense, more better auto completion we can expect in the TypeScript because the objects are created based on which one classes. The classes act as a blueprint, right? The class will define the properties and methods of the object, right? So the what are the properties and methods already declared in the class? Same list only will come here. So in that way, since we have classes, we can expect the better IntelliSense and better or meaningful error messages. Sometimes in JavaScript, some error messages may not be understandable, may not be, maybe confusing for the developer. But we can expect some better error messages from the TypeScript language. So these are some of the advantages of the TypeScript language. Now let us see how to create a first application in TypeScript language. So steps to prepare first application in TypeScript. So these are the steps we have to follow. Understanding, we have to follow some steps. Install the code editor, that is Visual Studio Code. Next we have to download and install the Node.js and install the TypeScript. Create application folder. Create the TypeScript program. Compile the program. Import the TypeScript program into HTML program. Execute the HTML program. So this process we have to follow. So don't worry, I will explain about all these steps one by one practically now. Okay. So first we have to go for the first point, installing the Visual Studio Code. What is this Visual Studio Code exactly? It's a code editor or IDE to prepare the modern applications. It's a free and lightweight. Anybody can easily understand this. Anybody can use this. It's highly customizable and it supports all the latest languages including HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, Angular, React, blockchain, okay, Java, PHP, Python, any modern languages we are able to use in the Visual Studio Code. It's all of course free. So that's why I'm going to use this one. So let me show how do we install the Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. There is a website code.visualstudio.com, right? Once you go to this particular website and click on the button download for Windows, and you got the file like a VS Code setup file, just download and install it. So once we click on this exe file, click on yes button for confirmation about the security warning. Click on next. Select the ready button. I accept the agreement. Click on next. Click on next. No need of changing any settings. By default, you can just say next. But if you prefer these two options like add open with code in file menu and directory context menu, these two options are selected. I prefer because if you select those options, what is the advantage? You can right click on some folder. You can say open with code. So all the files of the folder will be open here. So this option will be added if you select the checkbox only. So once we selected these two checkboxes, click on next to install. It will take around 1 or 2 minutes to install. Okay, now installation is completed. Just click on finish. So Visual Studio Code installation done. Next we have to install the Node.js. So what is this Node.js? Actually Node.js is meant for server-side application development. But why we have to install Node.js? We are not going to write any programs in Node.js for Angular. Node.js and Angular has no relation. Even this Node.js and TypeScript also has no relation. TypeScript is different, Angular is different, Node.js different. TypeScript is a language. Node.js is for server-side application development. Angular is a client-side framework. So three different things there have no relation. But one point is common. What is the point? Just listen. So basically we have the concept of packages. First there is a server called npm server, and in this npm server n number of packages available. Thousands of packages available. Suppose package 1, package 2 like this, n number of packages available. Every package is a collection of files. Each package is a collection of files. So we have lots of packages. And any developer can download these particular packages through npm client. So some developer available. There is some developer. Suppose you are the developer. So being a developer, you wanted to just download any of these packages. The packages which are available in this particular location. So in your system, what will you do? We'll have npm client software. We have to install the software called npm client. Through npm client only, we have to pass one command like npm install space some package name. What this command will do, it will go to the particular npm server. Npm means what? Node.js package manager. So this command will go to this particular Node.js package manager server, and it will pick up the particular package whichever you want. For example, we have mentioned package 2 here. It will go to the package manager server and it will pick up the particular package. The particular package will be loaded into your system. All the package files will be downloaded into your system. So this is the systematic way to download the packages into the system. So with this, anybody can download the packages. It's like a basically code sharing. If I upload my package into the npm server, any other person can download it. It's like a open source package resource sharing. It works like interface between the developer who developed the package, between the consumer who consumed the package. So why we have discussed about all these things now? The TypeScript itself is a package, and Angular also itself is a package. Itself is one or more packages, in fact. So TypeScript is a package, Angular is one or more packages. Through npm only, we are able to download the TypeScript. We are able to download the Angular. So in order to use the TypeScript, we have to install the TypeScript package. In order to use Angular, we have to install the Angular package. How can we install the package? By using the npm client tool only. So that's why we have to install the npm client tool in the system. In our developer system, we must install the npm client. But how can we download this npm client? Separate download is not available. Just Node.js software you have to install, and npm software is inside it, inside it. If you install this Node.js, npm client tool is inbuilt. Understand the point? So that is the reason through as we have to install TypeScript and Angular through npm only, we have to install the Node.js software we have to install while using TypeScript and Angular. But in the coding, it has no relation. Only for the packages, it has relation with the Node.js. I mean, in the coding, in the practical development activities or in the concepts, it has no way concern with the Node.js. So anyway, we go to nodejs.org website. It is official site of Node.js, and can download the current version, that is 9.11.1 is the current version. Maybe this version number may be changed in future. Maybe updated version may come. Suppose 9.11.2, 9.12.1, whatever may come. So once we have downloaded this particular file, double click on this node.msa file. So installation gets started for Node.js. Okay, now Node.js installation gets started. Click on next button. And already in my system, Node.js installed. That's why it is showing repair, remove, all these things. Just I do one thing. I just uninstall this Node.js. I click on remove. So it is going to uninstall the Node.js in my system. And again, I will reinstall the same. So first it is going to uninstall my Node.js in my system. Okay, it is uninstalling the Node.js in my system because already Node.js installed. So I'm going to remove it first. Okay, now removing is completed. Click on finish. Now let's reinstall it. So double click on the same file what you have downloaded. Now installation gets started. Click on next. And now check the checkbox. I accept the terms in the license agreement. Click on next. And keep the default path the same as it is, no need of changing. Click on next, and by default all the options are selected here, so including the Node.js package manager. No need of changing anything, keep the same as it is. Just click on next, click on install. Now installation gets started for Node.js. It will be just finished in 1 or 2 minutes itself. Okay, now the Node.js installation completed. Click on finish. So after installation of the Node.js, we have to install the TypeScript. So in order to install, go to the command prompt, go to start and type like cmd. In the start, type like cmd, then you will get the command prompt. You can open the regular command prompt. There we have to give the command npm install, hey Node.js package manager, install TypeScript package globally. -g means globally. Globally means it should be available to all the folders in the entire system, including C drive, D drive, E drive, any folder, it should be available. That is the meaning of global. So it is downloading the files from the internet, and it is just updated now. So next, we have to create some program. Where we have to create the program in the code editor, that is Visual Studio Code. Once you open this code window, that is Visual Studio Code, here we have to go to File menu, New File. We are going to save the program. For example, where MSG is a string data type hello, and we are trying to print it. Okay, now this is the program. Here this is the TypeScript program because we have mentioned data type here now. So it's a definitely TypeScript program. We are going to save this, and we have to create one application folder. Already we have created one application folder like C:\Angular 9pm. If this folder is not exist, we have to create this newly by click on this new folder. So in my system, the application folder is C:\Angular 9pm. Folder name, that is for file name, can be anything. For example, I'm giving first.ts. We can give any file name, that is I have given, for example, first.ts. .ts extension only we have to provide. Compulsory .ts. .ts indicates a TypeScript file. You can see that file very clearly. We can see first.ts. But can we double click on this first.ts? Can we execute this directly? No, we cannot double click. We cannot execute this. The only way we have to compile this TypeScript file into JavaScript file, because browser doesn't support the TypeScript. Browser can understand only JavaScript. That's why we have to compile this. Means we have to convert this TypeScript into JavaScript, and we have to import that JavaScript file into the HTML file, and overall the HTML file will execute in the browser. So browser can understand which one? Only HTML and JavaScript. Browser don't know anything about TypeScript. TypeScript is like artificial language which is unknown to browser. So we must compile into JavaScript. To compile into JavaScript, in the command prompt apply the command cd c:, that particular folder, like Angular 9 a.m. 9 p.m. Then we have to tsc space first.ts. See, suppose how do you compile the Java program? Java C space first.java, just like that. TSC space first.ts. TSC is a compiler name, TypeScript compiler. TSC means TypeScript compiler, file name .ts. So it will compile, means it will convert the TypeScript file into JavaScript file. Now we can notice a new JavaScript file is created with a .js extension. Same file name will be taken with .js. Suppose file name is hello, so it will take hello.js. And can we double click on this JS file and can we execute this? No, never. The only way we have to create one HTML file. Through HTML file only we have to call it. So just we can take this new file again. Once again, new file. Here we can take some HTML program. Remember, we can call the JavaScript file only through HTML program. JavaScript cannot execute in the browser directly. And after typing your regular syntax of HTML, we have to use a script src equal to that file name. Which file you want to call? Remember, only JavaScript file you can call. Very, very important. Remember, in the HTML file, you must call only JavaScript. So what is the JavaScript file? First.js. First.ts means the TypeScript program, which is the original file that you have created. But you have converted into JavaScript, right? So the converted file name only we can provide. And file name can be anything. The file name, suppose sample.html. HTML file name is separate, JavaScript file name separate. In the sample.html, we are going to call the first.js file. So double click on the sample.html file directly. And once we execute this in the browser, we can say to open the console, right click inspect element, console we can say. Now in the console, what it is saying? Hello. This is what the program we can expect now. So MSG is nothing but what? Hello. Hello is printed in the console. So this is the way how to prepare a first application in TypeScript.